Hello students, today we are going to understand the chapter 3rd from your textbook Hornbill titled as Discovering Tooth, the saga continues. Saga over here stands for the story, it continues. It is about the last heir of the Egyptian dynasty called as Tutankhamun or Tutankhaten, and in short he will be referred as Tut. So A.R. Williams takes us to a journey wherein Tutankhamun's mummy was discovered, and the story still continues in the sense that there is a mystery surrounding the death of the last heir of the most powerful Egyptian dynasty and who was called as Tutankhamun. This chapter is about the last heir of the powerful pharaoh dynasty Tutankhamun, who died when he was a teenager, and after ruling for about 9 years he died in a mysterious way. So this chapter throws light over all the possible mysteries, the curse, where his tomb lies, his life, and the untimely death. Egyptians believe that there is life after death, and that is the reason why the pharaoh was buried with wealth and everyday use items. Let's start with the explanation of the chapter. Tutankhamun, also known as Tut, was a teenager when he died. He was the last successor of his powerful pharaoh dynasty which ruled Egypt and its empire for centuries. He was laid on rest heavily loaded with gold. His tomb was discovered in 1922, which made the world raise a question about what had happened to him and whether he had been murdered. After almost 80 years, his body was about to undergo a CT scan. The full form of CT scan is computed tomography, which would give new information and clues about his life and death. His face would be recreated with the help of a procedure called as forensic reconstruction. A fast, strange, and unnatural wind was blowing as King Tut's body was taken from his grave called Valley of the Kings. An ancient Egyptian cemetery, the location of the Valley of Kings is, you can see right now on your screen. Dark clouds moved quickly across the desert all day long, and later they covered the stars. On January 5th, 2005, at around 6 p.m., King Tut's mummy, which is the world's most famous mummy, was placed in the CT scanner to investigate the mystery behind his death, which had occurred more than 3,300 years ago. All afternoon, the tourists visited the 26 feet deep underground rock cut tomb to pay respect to the king. Many people stuffed into the small tomb and looked in admiration at the murals, the paintings on the walls of the chamber, and took a look at the face of Tut that had been painted with gold. While visitors read the guidebooks in a hushed tone, some stood silently, wondering about King Tut's untimely death in his teen years. They might also be wondering if the curse of the Pharaoh, which leads to the descent of misfortune upon the person who disturbed him, was true or not. Zahi Hawass, the Secretary General of Egypt, leaned over the body to have a look. He said that the mummy was in a very bad condition because of what the British archaeologist Howard Carter had done in the year 1920s. He discovered King Tut's tomb in 1922 after a long search. The valuable treasures of Tut had been explored earlier too, but surprisingly they were complete. The treasure found at Tut's grave is the richest till date and has come to be known as the Pharaoh's legend. It has artifacts in gold which are eternally beautiful and as good as new. Some artifacts still get attention. Tut was buried with things of daily use like a razor made of bronze, games, linen undergarments, and boxes of food and wine which he could use in the next life. Carter took a few months to record the treasures found in Tut's grave. Then he began investigating his three coffins, which were nested one in another. In the first coffin, he found a piece of cloth with garlands of willow, olive leaves, wild celery, lotus petals, and cornflower, which suggested that he had been buried in the month of March or April. When he reached the third coffin, Howard Carter was in trouble. When Howard Carter reached the third coffin, he was in trouble. The body had hardened due to the resins which had cemented the body, and it had stuck to the bottom of the coffin, which was made up of gold. Carter wondered what to do next because no amount of force could separate the two. So he tried to loosen the resins by keeping the body in the hot sun. He kept the mummy in 149 degrees Fahrenheit heat for several hours, but still it remained stuck. He reported that a chisel could not be used to cut down the mummy from the limbs and the trunk so that Tut's body could be taken out of the coffin. According to Carter, he had no choice other than to cut the mummy. He believed that if he hadn't done that, thieves would have removed the gold from the tomb and would have looted it. Carter believed that if he hadn't done that, it would have been ransacked by thieves and all. During Tut's time, the royal people were very wealthy and they had a belief that after death they could take the wealth along with them. For his life after death, Tutankhamun was given precious collars, necklaces, and decorative patterns, bracelets, rings, amulets, ceremonial aprons, sandals, sheaths for fingers and toes, and now an iconic inner coffin and a mask. His men removed his head and every joint of his body. After they finished, they reassembled the remains in a wooden box with padding fitted with a layer of sand to conceal the damage. It was now Tutankhamun's new resting place. In the past few decades, archaeology has changed as it is now focusing on the details of life and the mysteries of death. Now archaeology uses more advanced medical technologies and tools for research. In 1968, an anatomy professor x-rayed King Tut's mummy and revealed that the front limbs and breastbone were missing. Now, with the advancement of technology, CT scan or computed tomography can give a virtual image of the whole body with the help of this technology. King Tut's body would be scanned to find answers to two questions: how he died and how old was he at the time of his death. His death was a shock to the royals also, as he was the last person of his family and his funeral indicated the diminishment of his dynasty. However, what happened after his death is still not clear. Tut's father or grandfather Amenhotep III was a powerful pharaoh who ruled over a period of 40 years. His son Amenhotep IV succeeded him and began the strangest period in the history of Egypt. He promoted the worship of Aten, the sun disk. He changed his name from Akhenaten, meaning servants of the Aten. He also shifted the religious capital from Thebes to the new city of Akhenaten called Amarna. He also destroyed the images and closed down the temples of another god called as Amun. Ray Johnson, director of the University of Chicago, said it must have been a bad time for the empire as the family who ruled for centuries came to an end and Akhenaten moved in an odd direction. Another mysterious ruler, Semenkhare, succeeded Amenhotep and died soon. Next, Tutankhamun, also known as Tut, sat on the throne and ruled for 9 years. He worshipped god Amun in the old ways. However, he died mysteriously. Tut is one of the mummies in Egypt, whereas until now, with the help of the Egyptian Mummy Project, which started in 2003, almost 600 mummies have been recorded so far. King Tut's mummy was the first one to be scanned by CT. Under the next phase of scanning, the mummies with the machine, which was donated by the National Geographic Society of and Siemens. The CT scan machine scanned the body by creating 1700 digital X-rays in cross sections, and Tut's head was scanned in 0.62 millimeter slices to record the tiny details. A team of radiology, forensics and anatomy experts started examining the secrets of the grave that has been protected by the flying goddesses for a long period of time. During the night, workmen climbed up on the ramp and the flight of stairs to carry the body from the tomb into the spinning stand outside. They rose the body onto a hydraulic lift, then into a trailer where the scanner was kept. They rose the body onto a hydraulic lift, and after 20 minutes, two men ran towards the office nearby to bring two fans. The scanner was not working as the sand had entered a cooler fan. The guard joked that it was because of the curse of the pharaoh because they had removed his body from the original resting place. Once the fan started to work, the procedure was finished. The data was checked in case of any losses, and then technicians returned the body to the pallbearers who carried him back to his tomb in less than 3 hours. He was resting at the same place where the priests had laid him many years ago. In the trailer, the technician showed a beautiful image of Tut on a computer screen. He showed the grey head, which was scattered in pixels, and he spun it around. Next, the vertebrae, hand, rib cage, and transection of his skull were shown. As the work was done, the pressure was finally off from the shoulders of Zahi Hawass. Zahi Hawass was sitting in his chair and he smiled and said that he was relieved that nothing went wrong. He had not slept the previous night, and now, as the work was done, he would go and sleep. By the time they left the trailer, the wind had stopped and the winter air was like death itself. Just above the tomb, the Orion constellation shone in the night sky, watching over the boy king. King Tut's body was looked after by the soul of Osiris, who is also considered as the god of afterlife. It was watching over this boy pharaoh whose tomb was found by Howard Carter in the year 1922. With this, we conclude the explanation of the chapter Discovering Tut, the Saga Continues by A.R. Williams.